Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. It's Wednesday morning, and I always look forward to my Wednesday coffee chats to connect with everyone. I am leaving for vacation today, so it was perfect that this worked out right before I go away. I don't have to rush to work today, so this may be a long one. But I always think about the night before, what I think is relevant to talk about and what I'm currently experiencing in my salon. So because I've been doing hair for 32 years and I own my salon and I work 3 days a week, I'm pretty much booked out, 3, 4 weeks at a time. I have regular guests that come all the time, but every now and then I'll have a space for somebody new. And it's always refreshing and it keeps you on your toes to have a new guest. You break out of your comfort zone and have to, get to know someone new and gain their trust, which is always can be interesting. So I just wanted to share two things that happened this week in regards to consultation and how important it is. When we have more experience behind the chair, we tend to think less of the importance of the consultation because we know what we're doing. But you have to remember, regardless of your years of experience, that new guest is meeting you for the very first time. So it's kind of like going on a first date where the client doesn't know you. The first 5 minutes that he or she is exposed to you, they're kind of quickly giving you the once over. They're checking out, your hair and makeup, your voice, your demeanor, how you're approaching them. Are you timid? Are you confident? This is all going through their head really quickly in the first 5 minutes. For us, from our perspective, it's like, oh, there goes my lunch. She's already here. I have to go do a consultation. Now I can't eat my lunch. I mean, that's the reality of it because, especially in my salon, we're always booked. So when someone wants to come and do just a consultation, it's either do it while somebody is processing their color or stay after work or come in early, and that just keeps stretching our day even longer. So I usually book mine for when someone is processing, which is also usually my tiny little window to put 3 bites of food in my mouth before my next guest comes. So I had a new client schedule an official consultation, not on the day that she was having her hair done. So I walked up and I shook her hand and introduced myself, and she was this cute woman in her, I would say, late 60s, possibly early 70s, and she had some gray sprinkled through. She definitely had been having a root touch up and highlights, and the root, you hear me talk about all the time on here how much I hate base breaks and how blanche the hair gets. So she was your typical blanche base break, sprinkles of gray, frosted blonde ends. Some of the ends were like that, trying to be blonde, too much orange, yellow in there. Like everything about it was just fighting with her skin tone. So, of course I don't say, ew, this is gross, what are you doing? I sat with her. I always sit eye level with the client. I don't stand above them and cross my arms and look down. It's very intimidating. So I'm very conscious of my body language and making the person feel at ease. So I sat with her and we chatted, and she was really cute, and she was a talker. I mean, I'm a talker, but she was a talker. So when someone's like that, they're very chatty and they're talking about things that have nothing to do with their color, that's nerves. So you have to look for those cues, and instead of being like interrupting her, which is going to throw her off, she wants to get her point across what she thinks is a good point, but she's kind of rambling, but you can take that as a sign of nervousness. So I'm sorry that I didn't think ahead of time and record this consultation, because it really would have been a good teaching lesson for my online course for people just starting out on how you as the professional have to find a way to get your to enter into that constant stream of babble and take control of the consultation and bring it back to you being the professional and sharing with them how you think that we should proceed. So I let her talk, I let her do her thing, and she kept talking. Someone, when they come for the first time, always wants to talk nonstop about their prior hairdresser. what they did, what they did, what they did. And the whole time I have the story in my head like, well, if you were happy with what she did, you wouldn't be sitting here on a date with me, basically. It's kind of like if you went on a blind date and they talk about their ex the entire time and you're like, okay, let's move on. You need to move on. We all need to move on. So she kept saying, well, the girl I usually go to, you know, she does my roots and then she does highlights. And, you know, I'm happy, but I'm not happy, but I'm this and I'm that. And she kept talking in circles. And I just put my hand on her leg, and her name was Pam. And I said, Pam, I'm going to tell you, you know, what I would do if I didn't know anything about the history of your hair and you just came to me looking at your eye color and your skin color. This is what I see. And I calmly explained to her that by doing the root touch-up, she's bringing all this unnecessary orangey gold into her hair. Her skin tone and her eye color blend towards a cool look, and that her skin and her hair are fighting each other, and that's why she's unhappy. And she looks at me like, wow, you know, no one's ever said that to me. So I wasn't saying, ooh, your hair's orange, no wonder you're here and not at your other place. You never want to bash the other person's color because that can be happening to you someday. That's just not professional. There's no reason for that. So by the end of the conversation, I told her what the plan would be. I said, I want to highlight through what's there and cool it all down, and this is the procedure and this is how long it will take. And she wanted, of course, to do it right then because she got excited and she felt comfortable because I let her talk and I let her have her time, you know, being the one in charge of the conversation. So it's all about the give and take. I've seen colorists try to talk through the person when they're trying to tell the colorist what they want. And I see it over and over again. And that's where the disconnect happens. The client remains on edge. They don't trust the colorist because they didn't hear a word they said because they were in their mind thinking, she just interrupted me, I wasn't done. So it's a lot of psychology and body language and emotional intelligence that goes into hair color, so much more than the chemistry. So she liked me so much and was so comfortable that she was like, can we do it right now? And of course, I didn't have time to do it right then. So she came on the day of her appointment. It had been like a week and a half before I could get her in. And even to do that, I had to stay at the end of the night later because I felt bad. I wouldn't be able to see her for like 6 weeks. So she was excited and she came in all smiley and she sat in my chair and I'm telling you how confident that I was in how the consultation went. And I still remembered what we talked about. I remembered our conversation, what the plan was. And she sits in my chair and she says, I've been thinking about this over the last week and a half, and I think I want you to do what I already have. Let's just stick with that. Again, fear. This happens all the time. If I had a nickel for every time somebody tried to bail on the new plan because they're scared, and it's so obvious to me that it's fear, and she doesn't really want me to do what she already has because she would not be in my chair if she was happy. So I let her ramble about all the reasons why I should give her her orange hair back. And I just smiled and I sat down again across from her eye level. I did not stand and give her the, you're going to do what I told you we were going to do thing and make her feel intimidated. I again put my hand gently on her leg and I said, Pam, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. Haven't you ever heard that quote? You came to me because you heard that I do a good job on hair color. You came to me because when you looked in the mirror, you knew something wasn't right, right? And I kind of paused and I tilt my little head and let her think about it. And she's like, you're right. And I said, just trust me. Just trust me. Let me do my thing. I promise you, you're my last guest of the day. I promise you, you will be 100% happy or I will not let you leave this building. We will do whatever it takes. If I do what I think we should do, and at the end you look at it and say, I hate it, what were you thinking? I want my orange hair back. I'll give it to you. I promise you. And she laughed because she knew she was being silly. And I did my thing and she loved it. And I put it on my Instagram and I think I got the most likes I've ever gotten. If you want to check it out, the before and after, head over to my Instagram when we're done this chat. It's Lainey Cake, LAINEYCAKE. I have a new Instagram TV channel that I try to go on and do a video every day. And she's probably 3 posts ago. You'll see her head down and she has like that you know, gray with the orange and the blonde. And then if you swipe, you'll see the after. So she was thrilled. You know, she had a great visit. She was chatting with the other ladies, her body and everything just relaxed when I just said, just trust me. You know, I could have stood there and argued with her and then gotten into, you know, your hair color is awful. Why would you want that? There's no reason for that. I just said, trust me, Pam, it's all going to be okay. And I promise you, you're going to feel way more fabulous when you leave. So was I like that when I was right out of beauty school? Hell no. I would have let her talk me into anything that she wanted just to be able to get paid and have a client in my chair. But the more confident that you get and the more you take control from the beginning and pretend you're confident even when you're not, the more people will come to you and the more it will work out, because you're being the person that you want to be, not the person that you are. And then all of a sudden you turn into that person, you know, shaking their hand, making eye contact, you know, being bold when you don't feel like being bold. You can be a different person in the salon than you are in your regular life. If you're the type that goes to a cocktail party and you hide in the corner, you're so shy, you can't do that in a consultation. That person is coming to you for your expertise and your knowledge. So you have to pretend that you're the person that rules the cocktail party and is the first one to say hello. So just try it out, try on the confidence, whether you have it or not. You know, make sure you check their eye color, their skin color. That's very impressive to a guest that you actually cared that her skin color match her hair color. It's something that's simple that can make a huge impact on your visit. So fast forward to, this was like a couple weeks ago, the Pam situation, but fast forward to yesterday. I have a client, Margaret. Margaret came to me years ago as a single process blonde. She has coarse, thick mounds of hair, and it's that combination of charcoal dark gray and light sparkly, you know, silver beautiful gray. But it's the two tones on her hair, and all of the salons that she had gone to in the past picked one shade of color. They either formulated to the light gray, and then the back where the darker gray was so brassy because it didn't lift enough to make that blonde, or they formulated to the dark part and did a super cool formula, and then it didn't do anything for the gray. So this is my favorite topic to talk about and to teach because it's so simple. So she came to me, someone recommended her, and I looked at her and I said, here's the problem. You have two different heads of hair on your head, and it switches intermittently throughout your head. It's not just front and back. It's, you know, a section here is light, a section here is darker, a section here. You have to keep switching bowls throughout the service. But I do two different formulas. It's a custom formulation. She was so loyal to me because of that, because anytime she couldn't get in with me, if she went to someone else, they were going to do the same thing that everybody else did. Pick a color to address the gray or pick a color to lighten the dark. So simple. So she was loyal to me for the past, I would say 15 years I've been doing her hair. When the silver gray trend started to happen, she has that ruddy, rosacea complexion, like really pinky cheeks, super gorgeous crystal blue eyes, very Irish. And even though I was getting it better than everybody else, there's still that little bit of urine yellow residual when that gray just turns into that weird funky yellow color, and it still bothered me. So I suggested to her, she was like, oh, you know, the maintenance is getting to be a lot, coming, you know, every 4 weeks, and I really need it every 3 weeks. And again, she had this thick, coarse hair you couldn't hide the regrowth on. So I suggested, I said, you know what? Your gray is going to be beautiful once it all turns that silver color. So until then, why don't we stop doing the root, stop doing the single process, and let's go in and highlight all the yellow out of your hair, take everything super pale, and make you like more of a platinum blonde with no yellow, and let the gray cohabitate and mingle in there. And she was like, I don't know. And again, I went through the whole thing. Trust me, if you don't like it, we can go back to your root touch-up. You can always go back and add the roots after you try the whole conversion to highlights, but you can't do vice versa. If I had, she let it grow out like this much. So if I had just gone in and listened to her and done the root retouch, then I have to fight it, the gold, even more. So I was like, just let's try this now. Let's see how it goes, and just check in with me and let me know how you're doing. So it must have gone well because I haven't seen her in I would say at least 7, 8 months. She's been in for haircuts, but she hasn't been in for color. So now it's at the point where even what I highlighted is so grown out that now like the highlights are on the tips of her hair and all this gray is in the top. So she's seeing the gray and she wants to do what she always did because that's how life goes. People are crazy. So she was like, oh, you have to cover this up. This gray just can't. I took a deep breath and I said, Margaret, remember how long it took us to get all of that color out of your hair? You have all of your beautiful natural gray in your hair. If you don't like the beautiful natural gray, that's okay. But let's not panic and dump blonde all over your hair and create all that gold. Remember that urine yellow that we struggled with for a year that we finally got rid of? That's going to come back, and it's going to take us another 1.5 years to get where we are right now. So how about you let me take charge of this situation and give you what I think that you need, because I know your hair better than you know at this point. It's been 15 years. You just have to trust me. I'm going to do what I think is best. And I promise you that if you're not happy, we will stay and we will put the color all over and do exactly what you came in and asked for. And she was like, okay. And I just highlighted the heck out of her hair. And in that case, when someone wants a fuller coverage and doesn't want to see as much of their gray, I recommend doing really thin slices. I haven't sliced in a long time. I was a slicer in the 90s. I was trained by a slicer. So instead of doing your weaves with your highlights, taking thin see-through slices, and they're more of a veil. So when you slice and you keep them close together, it becomes a lot more coverage. With a weave, you're doing this. So like it's blonde, gray, blonde, gray, blonde, gray. With a slice, it's blonde, 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 blonde. So it's more of a veil of color where it looks like all over coverage. So I did some videotaping when I did her hair. I'm going to try to put a quick video up here to show you. But of course, she ran out with that. It took me so long to foil the whole head because she has so much hair. She ran out with it wet. So when I can get a good after photo of her, I will definitely share it here and on my Instagram. But the point of me rambling on about this story is if I had let her bully me into doing what she always did, is there a benefit? Yeah, I'm going to see her every 4 weeks and she's going to pay me $100 for her root color, and that's great. But that's not what's best for her budget, for her lifestyle, and for her skin tone and her complexion. So you have to be the professional and tell them what you think that they need, and you have to be conscious of their wallet. She's retired. She's not married. She doesn't have the money to be coming every 4 weeks, and that's the reason that she probably got away from it in the first place. So again, take charge, be confident, lead them to what you think is best, and you can always go in and do what they originally asked for. But I think in the long run, in both of these situations, both women left really happy because I got a little bossy, and not in a mean way. You know, it's in the verbiage. I didn't say like, hell no, you're not getting what you want. I was like, okay, I get that you want to panic and cover that up. I get that you're freaking out that you see the gray. But what I see when you come in here is your blue eyes, your pinky skin tone looks so much better with what you have now. And you're just not happy because it's been 8 months. And yay you that you got away with 8 months without paying for hair color. So let's get you sparkled up again, get you some beautiful champagne blonde, because if you've been doing hair color long enough, you know that there's only one color that you can turn gray hair when you put bleach on it. And it's just that really baby inside of the banana, perfect color blonde that we're always looking for in darker hair. So it's the perfect situation. It gives her that little bit of blonde where she feels sparkly. Hi, Bryn. And she's happy, I'm happy, it's low maintenance, her hair's healthy, and it all worked out for the best because I had the confidence to take charge of that consultation. So listen for your clues in consultations, listen for keywords, brassy, grew too quick, gray showed too soon. They're all little keys to what you need to proceed with, and you need to listen more than you speak and let the client ramble on about whatever they want to talk about, and then once they're done talking, then you can check in and give your 2 cents and take charge. I hope that you got a little nugget of goodies from this. I hope you enjoy my coffee chats as much as I do. Cheers. So head over to my Instagram, check out that lady. Again, it's at Lainey Cake. Let me see if I can type this in here so you guys have it. If I could type, that would be good. Cake. And check out my Instagram TV. Oh, I added an S. There's no S. Check out my Instagram TV channel. I'm going to have some fun with that. I am going to start interviewing people on these coffee chats. I tried to get a hold of my friend Ian to interview him. He was the one that we talked about in the celebrity color webinar that was, I got such rave reviews. I'm going to be doing that again in July, so stay tuned for that. So thank you for your time. I hope you'll share this with your stylist friends, share it on any forums that you belong to, and enjoy your coffee and have a great day.